Guys, today I want to talk about 3 ways to think about doing something different. So it's not easy to transition from doing something that everybody has heard of to doing something that nobody has heard of. It's really easy to walk into a party and tell people, I work at McKinsey. I'm an investment banker. I'm a VP at this Fortune 100 company that everyone's heard of. And it's much harder to walk into a party and tell people, I work at this tiny company that no one has heard of, or I'm a life coach, or any other title that people are really unfamiliar with, or even to say, I'm in between jobs and I'm trying to figure out what's next. Very often, people feel so uncomfortable at the thought that they might have to have this conversation that they stay on paths that they're not excited about, just so they can avoid the awkward silence after they tell people what they do. And this fear can also become the source of some real compare and despair. Your brain will tell you he gets to say that he's a VP at Microsoft. She gets to say that she's a partner at McKinsey. So what the hell am I doing with my life? So let me give you 3 ways to think about doing something quote unquote different. Way number 1, use each awkward moment to find and fill your own confidence gaps. There is a reason that you didn't stay on the normal, easy to explain path. Something about that path didn't sit right with you. Something was just rubbing you the wrong way day after day until you made the decision to come over to this wonky, harder to explain path instead. So go back to those original reasons. Remember them, reinforce them. Come back to your own grounded center, your own inner knowing. And then assess the situation at hand. The only thing that happened when the moment got awkward was that a confidence gap that was already within you got revealed. So, what was that gap? Where is the wobbly point in your foundation? Let's just find it and fill it. For example, if someone tells you, oh, you're starting an AI company, isn't everyone doing that right now? What do you think? What is your response to that question? Or if someone says, you left your job in this environment, are you sure that's a good idea? What do you think? What's your response to that question? You don't have to go back and tell that person your response. The audience for your answer is you. All this person did was touch on a point that was already tender for you. So go look at that question honestly, write a robust counter response, and put that worry fully to bed. Way number 2, just get reps. So one element of getting comfortable with doing something different is plugging your confidence gaps. And another element is just plain reps. The first 30 times that I told someone I was a life coach, I wanted the earth to swallow me up whole. I was so embarrassed and so awkward about it, which by the way, makes it pretty weird for the other person too. By the time I got to the 200th time I was telling someone I was a coach, it rolled off my tongue and I just wasn't fazed, no matter how they reacted. The more you do something, the easier it gets. And even if you don't consciously work at it, your unconscious brain will automatically figure out how to do it, make it easier, and put it on autopilot. So just go out and get a bunch of reps. And by the time you get to rep number 50 or rep number 100, you won't even be thinking about it anymore. Or way number 3, love your trade-off. Sometimes it's awkward and it stays awkward. No matter how many confidence gaps you've plugged, no matter how many reps you've gotten, some conversations will just stay weird. Maybe it's your parents asking yet again, are you sure you don't want to go back to that secure corporate job? Or maybe it's an old mentor of yours that every time you catch up, they tell you, yeah, I still don't believe in that idea you're working on. In those moments, when the awkwardness and the self-doubt just isn't going away, no matter what you do, you can love the trade-off. Because very often, the normal, easy to explain path looks like this. 99% of the time, you're miserable. You're hating your day-to-day, wishing you could leave, and having no faith in anything you're doing. And then 1% of the time, you're happy. People look impressed when you tell them what you do. And your family goes, wow, at Thanksgiving. And very often, that wonky, harder to explain path looks like this. 99% of the time, you're happy. You love your day-to-day, you're inspired by the work you're doing, you're excited about the mission you're working towards. And 1% of the time, you're miserable because people give you a blank look when you tell them what you do and you get nagging questions from your family at Thanksgiving. And if you ask me, the trade-off in the second one is way better than the first one. And yes, those 1% moments are still awkward and horrible, but I would pick that balance any day. And so you can feel the awkwardness and the horribleness of those blank stare, nobody's getting it moments, and then still tell yourself, hell yeah, I'd rather have this than have the opposite. So wherever you currently are in this process, whether you've just started to notice that your current path feels a little bit off and you're afraid to even open the can of worms and ask what else, or whether you're in the messy middle where you're certain that you need to make a change, you're trying to figure out what to do next, but honestly, you're getting a little confused and overwhelmed by all the options. Or you're in the arena, you're working towards the next thing, you're getting battered by obstacles, problems, rejections, and you're wondering whether you should quit or keep going. Let me help you because this is my home turf. I think about this problem all day long. I've seen more variations and twists and flavors of this journey than any one person will probably experience in a lifetime. I know the patterns, I know the pitfalls, I've got exercises and frameworks for days if you want them. And even more importantly, I know how to ask you the right questions and then step back and let you answer them. Because the answer you're looking for is really inside you. And I'm just a momentary guide to help you find that answer a little more quickly and a little more easily than you might by yourself. So come talk to me and let's get started. Go to the link above and book a free coaching consult.